is basically a zero of the function is a value that makes the function equal 0. Another way to talk about a zero of the function is basically it's like the solution to a factor. So like, so if there's a remainder of 0, so a factor has a remainder of 0. Basically, if the factor is a remainder of 0, that factor, when it equals 0, is going to be one of my zeros of the function. All right, so it says divide this using synthetic division. So one of the things, there's a couple different ways you can go about doing this. You can just take that and divide it by 3. I actually think a really easy thing to do is kind of just make this a 0. What I mean by that is set this equal to 0 and solve it. Because what that's going to do is it's going to tell you what value to put in that little square. So we're going to put 2/3 in the little box. So if you do that, it kind of does like the solving for you there. Now we're going to do all our coefficients here. I don't think there's any missing powers of x, right? Don't forget to start by dropping down first. The good news is 2/3, as much as it seems like a really awful decimal, it's going to work out nicely because 2/3 of 3 is just 2. So for the most part, a lot of these end up being nicer than they look like they're going to be. -8 and 2 is going to be a -6. And 2/3 of -6 is also a nice number. It's -4, right? So I divide it by 3, multiply by 2. I add here, I get 9. Also a nice number. Because divide by 3, multiply by 2, 6. Add. Again, multiply works out nicely. The 3's cancel. And I just get 2. And then I add. So again, if we're doing this using the synthetic division, this is now the remainder. And then we work our way the opposite way. So this is the constant, this is x squared, x to the 3rd. So my solution for this and then again, the remainder is 8, and that would just go over. Oh, actually, no, right? Do we need to, did I do that right? When we divide by the 3, do we have to divide, I think we have to divide all these by 3. Shoot. Hang on. I just had a moment of, let's see. Where did I find this one? Yeah, I think because we divided by 3, we have to divide the final thing by 3 as well. Hang on. Let's see where we... I feel like this is a step I always forget, and I just want to make sure I'm not telling you wrong. Yeah. It doesn't work. Okay. All right, sorry. Thank you. And yeah, yeah, that makes sense because yeah, she looked even at just the first two terms. So, since we did this divide by 3 here, this is important because obviously I forget about it until I teach it and then realize I explained something poorly. So since we divided by 3 here, we have to take everything except our remainder and also divide that by 3. So all of those have to be divided by 3 as well. Good news is they're all divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3 would be 1, x to the third, negative 6 divided by 3, 9 divided by 3, and 3 divided by 3. However, I believe our remainder can just stay as it is. I'm just trying to remember where I got this problem from. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Alright, so let's do this last one here then. Now this one's a little bit nicer. It looks worse, but it's actually nicer because we didn't actually manipulate the expression. It's already written as a fraction, and that's fine. So our 0, the function is 3/2. Because if I were to solve this, I would set this equal to 0. So 3/2 is what's going to go in my...
It says use long division.
Oh, why did I think that's a typo on my part. Let's use synthetic. Oh my gosh. Becca, overachiever.
It says long division.
I hope I got the same answer.
You want to do long division?
No.
No, I think I copied and pasted.
I had to do it again. I was so glad I didn't have to do long division.
Yeah, so glad I did. Okay, but careful guys. So glad I don't read directions. What do we need to remember though with our synthetic division here? We're missing a power of x. Do you guys see it? The x is missing, so you do need to put a placeholder in. So we're putting in a 0 there, in the place where there would be an x value. If you don't do that, this doesn't work. So obviously we want it to work. Sorry, Becca.
You're good. It didn't mess me up too bad.
Too bad. Alright. So we start with our 8 here. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, plus or times 3 is 12. 3/2 of 8. Yeah.
Never mind.
Just wanted to raise your hand. So every once in a while, I just want some attention. Alright, so 20 divided by 2 is 10, times 3 is 30. Divided by 2 is 2, times 3 is 6. Six divided by 2 is 3, times 3 is 9. So this is our remainder, constant x squared, x to the third, x to the fourth. Now this one we didn't have to do any dividing because it was already divided for us, so we don't have to do that extra step. It's kind of a big long one we're done there. Alright, we okay?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, take a break and you have your worksheet. You have a test to finish, anyway. So, only thing is, as much as I love giving out a worksheet, worksheets. This worksheet's not great in that it doesn't really give you much room at all. So if you want to do it on a separate sheet of paper, the back is empty as well. But even though synthetic division doesn't take a lot of space, they could have given you a little bit more than they did. So. Notice the first couple just want you to do substitution, kind of like we did, like use the synthetic substitution. What's up?
Negative.
Yes.
No.